Right, time to reopen sections of the damn dungeon. This is hard to feel in any way enthusiastic for in this clip, though part of me feels that way for many of the clips in this game from around the point when we beat Sabrina onwards, and arguably a number before that. I just wish that there was something more to look forward to other than getting to the Elite Four and beating them, just to have the chance to fight against Gary for one last time. It's not that Gary's bad in terms of challenge, but I'm getting the same feeling heading towards our final confrontation with him that I did when we beat Giovanni for the last time. I just feel like a bit of an asshole for beating him so many times with little to no reason. He has some legitimate goals here. To prove himself to his grandfather, showing that he's more than just a smug little brat, and that he can back it up, possibly seeking some approval from the old man who seems to be the only adult in his life. Which, of course, makes me wonder what his parents were like to give him that kind of goal that he drove himself so hard for. A goal that he becomes so utterly close to achieving, but then gets his ass kicked the moment Professor Oak arrives, then gets told, well, of course you lost. You didn't care about your Pokemon, you just care about winning. Hell, I probably wouldn't even be all that annoyed by that ending if it felt like the story actually led us to that point, instead of just feeling slapped there for the sake of going, the jerk lost because you're the good guy, and we say so. Is it really too much to ask that the player character be given some motivation to do what we're going to accomplish at the end of our several dozen-hour-long journey, outside of this is how you get the credits to roll? I can think of several easy ways you could pull it off. You know, just giving motivations to become the champ off the top of my head that would make sense for a kid about as young as what Red/Jack is supposed to be right now. Gaining recognition from our absent father, or maybe trying to reconnect with our childhood friend-turned-rival. Hell, if the main character had a motivation like wanting to see one of the legendary birds again, after seeing one of them when he was much younger, then I would have been far more willing to actually interact with them, even though I'm not a fan of just stuffing legendary beasts into a PC storage box like trophies that I'll probably forget about. I know I could have come up with an explanation of my own at the start of this LP to help give the game a bit more of a story, but this is a game that was released internationally in the late 90s. If it was released in the early 90s, then somehow it would have felt more acceptable for the story to be this bare bones. But I feel like the average writing quality for role-player games had too high a standard by the time Pokemon Red was released in the United States. Thank you for the excuse to stop the rant there, sir. Kind of needed to grab a drink when I stopped there for a bit. Well, that now is starting to get the feeling that I'm possibly still bitter that this game managed to spark an obscenely successful franchise, while things like Ultima and Wild Arms and so many other role-player series effectively do not exist anymore outside of re-releases last time I checked. Hell, I've never even actually played an Ultima game in my life, and I'm still bummed out by that, and annoyed that Pokemon, with such a more basic storyline, it is just such a juggernaut. Wait, he withdrew the psychic that was able to stay conscious after a rock to the head? Well, I suppose that wasn't a terrible move, but it still gave us a free shot on the Hypno. Though the recover was certainly rather useless there. Good God. We literally took more damage from random Geodudes in this cave than the Psychics this guy trained. And Psychics are supposed to be entirely overpowered in this generation. Good God, I knew this was going to be another sweep, but somehow this is a very humiliating sweep for this poor bastard. Ah, well, at least Marbleback will stop beating on him for a bit since he leveled up. And Neo gets a one-hit win to finish the fight that ties him once again with Garm. Of course he did, because he has to somehow become champion before us as the only rival to ever beat the Elite Four as far as I'm aware. Now that we've finally made it back this way, time to see how to make some more progress. Well, it's nice to know there's finally some rumors spreading about us, considering the sheer amount of ass we've kicked across this region so far. Though I suppose I'd chuckle if it somehow turned out the rumors were about Gary instead. The only confirmed things we can say about him are that he can get to various locations before us, and somehow levels up faster than us. The poor kid deserves to be considered a badass, but unfortunately the story isn't detailed enough to let him actually bask in any kind of glory. Okay, this plant is going to be a lot more troublesome than I anticipated at the start. That's what I get for underestimating a psychic plant. Well, at least we have a means to heal with Neo, even though I'm not using any healing items yet. I suppose that's a mercy. That's right, keep on using items to increase your stats while we keep decreasing your health. Well, I certainly think we should be able to take on a Cloyster more easily than an Executor. Yeah, that was much easier. Well, I believe Kawako has a few different options to deal with an Arcanine, and I really wish I could find it in me to let Garm finally become one of those big dogs. He certainly deserves to be in his final form at the end, when literally everyone else on the team is as well. Earthquake probably would have been faster, but that still got the job done. That makes 855 overall trainer wins so far, and we're still climbing. Dear God! I'm sure we're gonna get to 1,000 before I'm done with this generation. Well, there's a button for us to push a rock to here. Is there a rock near it? Or are we gonna have to make a rather long trip with the annoying amount of encounters around here? Right, time for a long trip to push a rock into the right place, and that will probably affect something that isn't even on the same floor as the switch. Granted, we've had more annoying trips through caves than this, but still, I really just want to move on, because there's so little left to actually do in the Game Boy game at this point, that at best I'm looking forward to the Pokemon Stadium bits that will come when we're done with the Elite Four. And maybe the level 50 tournament that will happen just before we make that final push in this one. Huh. Fewer random encounters than I was expecting while moving that particular rock. Right, everyone's at level 46 now, just 4 more levels for everyone, and I'll be ready to fight the Elite Four in this game. There's certainly going to be quite a lot of grinding to cut, assuming I keep my sanity long enough to get that part. Seriously, 73 parts into this LP, and all the enthusiasm I had in part 1 is drained dry. I'm not even sure if it's fully the fault of Pokemon Red or Pokemon Stadium. Perhaps it had something to do with my approach to how to do commentary in this game. So you say, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the trainers we faced would have preferred someone weaker. Whereas we have to go all the way to an N64 side game just to get some solid challenges for our team. It's just funny how I look forward to us losing, more than I look forward to us steamrolling all opposition in the foreseeable future. I've certainly known plenty of sports fans over the decades that would have loved for their team to have little to no real opposition, and always enjoy lopsided winning streaks. Okay, if nothing else, this Parasect is doing a damn fine job being badass despite being a bug type this late in the game. Well, that was very close there. Holy shit, Kawaku felt downright lucky. And I have the distinct feeling I'm gonna have to pull back for more healing. Hopefully this time, we won't lose any progress with the switches again. I can't remember. Is this the first time we've had to fight against a Chansey in this game? I'm pretty sure these are outright experienced gold mines. Huh. More damage done than I expected, though. Maybe I'm just misremembering how absolutely massive a Chansey's health is supposed to be. These things are supposed to be pretty tanky, if I remember right. Well, that debuff had a certainly noticeable impact, but it still doesn't make up for the fact that this fight is ours. Great job, Garm. 113 wins for you, and 858 for the team as a whole. That's it, time for us to fall back and get some healing back at the Pokemon Center. Here's hoping the escape rope won't reset the switches we activated, but then it's not like we know what reset those switches in the first place. Or at least I don't know. Though I'm pretty sure someone in the comments might mention at some point why that's the case. Hell, they might have done that for the previous clip, and I just didn't see it before I compiled this one.